in our country. Without much ado, I will introduce myself, Ahmed Sesay, and I will let the panelists introduce themselves. I'll start from Mr. MacFoy.
Hi, good evening, listeners, and again, Mr. Sesay, we're sorry for the intervention. The late Khan will come online. Obviously, we get a few technical difficulties, but I assure you, say this will not happen next week. Got our heads around the system, and will not forgive we. Again, we're looking to bring you an exciting program from Diaspora Voices. Obviously, I studied me now, so MacFoy and Yana Nami Pala. And I think say the other guests them and the one that we don't know say today we get some serious issues there for talk about. But I think say I will let that to Mr. Ahmed say for introduce the topic that we'll get for talk about today. Thank you.
And Mr. Bangura.
Yeah, yes, viewers across the world, I want to thank you and welcome Mr. Alhaji Thonkla Bangura, former presidential aspirant for People's Congress. As I will join my brother, Mr. MacFoy and Mr. Sesay, for offer apologies for the late start. We get some technical glitch, but we don't overcome them. So I raise some sincere apologies to them, and I thank the management. Thank you for voting. They don't do for to overcome this glitch, and they will promise them even though don't late, but with the reward now with quality analysis and representation. Thank you very much.
Now the other corner, the other screen, when I see a fine gentleman, Mr. Abdul Deen. Go ahead, Mr. Abdul Deen.
Good evening, viewers, and good morning to those living in the Far East, Australia, and I think America as well, and after America. I just want to anchor waiting me comrade and me colleagues and talk. Say we're sorry for the lateness and due to technical faults. However, we will compensate you now as Chief Thonkla former aspirant said, and I will get to enjoy the show. Me will talk to now, Abdul Kamara Akapayamba. God bless you all.
Thank you. I will make clear Mr. MacFoy introduce, let host the program, in fact, because he's a very good host. And besides, I know say he already gets because I'm absent on the last debate, sorry, the last program, and I'll not be able to present. My apologies for that as well. So it kind of, because of time, the program lapsed. So because I'm not there, for pick up from that, I will make clear Mr. MacFoy introduce the topics for today, and then it will be the host by all, with all due respect, sir, Mr. MacFoy, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Mr. Sesay. Viewers, if I know last week or two we talked about a lot of things, and we even include the president's speech. And we've not been getting enough time last week for actually talk about all the issues that we'll get with the president's speech and the things that the implication for country and for the economy. So again, this week we don't decide say we'll continue down there. And the other thing we'll get again inside the program this week. Now, the COVID-19, we don't hear a lot of stuff about COVID-19, the management of COVID-19. And most so importantly, there's three things we get for doing the COVID-19. The way that they manage the COVID-19, the freedom of press, where they exist between the COVID team and the government, and we the people, that the kind of message they send to we. And then the Attorney General do a constitutional instrument where he send to Parliament, we actually give the president total authority and oversight over COVID. We no one get oversight past the president. We only the Finance Act will be put together, all the safeguard that we put in for financial management for the country. When it comes to COVID funds, then put a law, then put a proposal in Parliament where say, nobody for ask question, nobody for nothing. Any to the president, why anybody way at the action of the president, therefore use and spend COVID money without accountability, without going through the procurement channels, And one thing that will be members say during Ebola, even though we circumnavigate some of the laws we put in place law where we still get checks and balances on the last government, and we were very, very good. We use, and after the election been done, after the Ebola been done, we've been go back for begin ask people for accountability, and a lot of people have been sanctioned, from officers in our government office to charities to non-governmental organizations. They will take money, not spend, and they're supposed to spend them, you know. So the council can discuss that there as well. Then quite recently, what's happened with COVID, we get we brother and said they will come up Kuwait. We go Salon, where they all been test negative when they left Kuwait airport. But the moment they reach Salon airport, there's 67 when they reach Salon, when they do the test within 24 hours, there's 67 tests positive out of that in the, you know, we've been prompt the ambassador from Kuwait for coming and say, you know, how comes that is possible? We clearly don't know, say, the head of the AOC, retired Brigadier Kelly, don't actually say they're going to retest all the people back, you know, and for no whether a mistake was made. You know, and earlier today, I get a live source where I get from Salome tell me say, people that were inside the way tell me say, how they pull their phone and come out their hand, then delete all the test results they would have been get from Kuwait. So waiting, we got one discuss on day. And again, the public, again, we're open to diaspora voices, we're sending our comments them, we're sending a message, we're questions them, and obviously as a phone line, I will just as we go on, I will let them know the phone line for them to call in to WhatsApp, and I shall give my opinion on them. Well, thank you very much. So that's what they'll get for today, you know. So if I know they go far, I think say, now begin this program. You know, Mr. Sesay, you not been there last week.
Okay.
So you get a preview to the conversation.
Yes.
Sesay, I want to give you an opportunity for let you tell me what thing that you take on the president's speech to the nation about where you talk about the opposition being a terrorist, where you accuse certain people of crime, where the court not convicted it, you know, a lot of that stuff there. So I want to open the floor for you before I put one in the I'll let you tell what you think about the president's speech.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. MacFoy, and thank you for viewers. Listen, I want to get your attention for just 5 minutes. There's so much things can go wrong with the speech, but I want to come up from a legal perspective, see where they worry me so much. The problem where I want to attack, what I want to talk about really now with regards to the matter between the state versus Darami and Williams and Abat Williams. The reason why I make a pick on that because in the president's speech, he don't already say the opposition, they kill journalists. They accuse them, and it was unfortunate, and I wish he before used the word alleged. Now, the reason why this is important, because they make up a precedent way, no good. So for that, do your viewers, I want to use this opportunity for let we entire viewership and the countries alone make una act as jurors on this matter. And they can't just give una a small breakdown of how the matter waiting happen exactly from the records of the court for let the Sierra Leone community. And when I say be a juror, do not be partisan. Members say, one, your country paramount to you. Then secondly, members say you get for die. And when you die, now you one day then you grave. So not judge this case why they can't give una so on the basis say me na APC or me na SLPP. Look and from a divine point of view say God say we get for talk the true Usai matter. The reason why make we lawyers can bring jurors them because they are lay persons in the law. So they go give you an honest and sincere account, the logical way happen. Now, on this case, Mr. Abat Williams and Darami, they were charged with 2 counts. First count na murder contrary to law. The second count na conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm. Now, members say the prosecution been called 9 witnesses. And make I just give una, until don't tell una, say una na jurors. The job of the jury, now 2 things una they look for. And these 2 things, one, una they look say whether the conduct of Abat Williams and Darami, waiting and do on that day unlawfully because of the acts or the omission caused the death of the deceased, the journalist. That's now one. Then secondly, whether they do and with malice and aforethought on a something where they really intend for do. Wait to make this important because it mitigate the charge from manslaughter to murder. So now listen. Then of course the prosecution always now then for prove their case say now so he do. So what did the prosecution do for bring a court say Now, so Abat Williams then do then bring 9 witnesses. And let me give you from the courts the record, say, waiting exactly transpire. Then bring 9 witnesses. From them witness here, you get some witness when a factual witness, that the one that will be there at the scene or will know what happened. Then you get the formal witness system when at the police. Now, the first witness where the courts been bring come, now the prosecution number, and I go we tell the names for obvious reason, but the PW1 now been the pathologist. And then the pathologist, they ask and then cross-examine him, and he mentioned during the cross-examination, say, they ask him whether it is possible that the journalist died from a natural cause since he was hypertensive. And the autopsy did not reveal that he was taking medication. That condition, that is what the pathologist Hassan say, the disease possible when this journalist, he be hypertensive. So he not being take any medication for that. And then he further on say during cross-examination, they ask and say, if he die for a possible say he died from a natural cause because of this medication, he say it is possible. You know, and if further state during cross-examination say, if the disease being stress, now mark this word, if he be not get anything where stress him, it possible say this hypertension will cause to a fall. And it possible say now that fall then now cause the crack now the skull where you see. You understand? So next time cross-examination. So in no point to any conduct of these people. That are the first witness. And then you go to the second witness when are the disease, the journalist Leone wife. They ask him, and this is what she said. She mentioned that the disease was on the day before his death, arrested at the Criminal Investigation Department, making a statement relating to a vehicle he bought earlier. So the police accused and said this vehicle was stolen. So that day he was so stressful before he died. This night happened. So when come on CID, he go home. The witness further say that she mentioned how the disease fell down twice on the day he died. He fell down and gone twice the day where he died. Where come on, stay where he tell and say, and I quote, now this vehicle in business you don't put now you aid, look what your condition. Look where you did for down, look your condition. That was waiting the disease in website the day where the man died. So the guy fell down twice. Okay, so remember waiting the pathologist say earlier. Now go to the third witness. Well, this third witness when a PW3, now the factual witness. Now just the police officer, and this police officer I just confirmed say yes, now he arrest about Williams, and then he bring the Ghana police. That's not factual witness. So the fourth witness, when now the key witness, the star witness, you understand? He confirmed that he know the first and second accused, Mr. Abat Williams and Darami. Abat Williams as former mayor, Darami as former PR of agriculture. And then they ask him if they been there at this, and he confirmed say that he said he was present with the deceased at the alleged crime scene at Lumley, and stated in his testimony and under cross-examination that the first and the second accused did not assault or attack the deceased at Lumley. He said, remember, he said he been there with the deceased when at the journalist, he been there in Lumley, and that the first and the second accused did not assault or attack the deceased at Lumley. And most importantly, that the deceased was assaulted by a state house security that he does not know but can identify if seen. So he points in at the state security they assaulted. And then he further on went say the first and second accused person were at Lumley roundabout on that day. But they been there with the crowd. You see them along the crowd in a far distance with any other people then, okay?
Mr. Sesay, I don't want to cut you off. So that way you don't say this. I want to give you 2 minutes for summarize. You know, say they call it time bound. No, 2 minutes for summarize. Then let me move on to the next.
Let me just finish. They can wrap up now. The fifth witness back na policeman, himself na the same thing. And then the number 6 witness na journalist. So this number 6 witness, itself, in factual. This number 7 witness, when a key witness, he say he interview this journalist who die immediately after the scene, and he say the first and the second accused did not assaulted him. That was before the man died or the journalist died. You understand?
So what I was saying, Mr. Sesay, how does this link into the president's speech?
No, at the camp. Then the third one, the final witness say, in been dede, and the scene when at the people, but he say the witness, he say now the state house security, and let me say, he specifically say, and I quote, Samura was about to take a snapshot of the Hilux vehicle when security guards grabbed him and started beating him. We tried to rescue him, but we are overpowered. It's itself measures in a state security. So just like number 4, prosecution witness number 4, we say now the state security. Prosecution witness number 9 also mentioned say that the state security. Now, wait to make a say a link, because when this matter, when you accuse the public, say now the opposition, they kill journalists, and then the trial, all the witnesses, they point to the fact, say it is the state security. The reason why I make a say so, it is going to make a very bad precedent if this case stand, because why? The next government will go come, will hold the conduct of the state security with party operatives. So if we allow this precedent for stand today, now about Williams and Toll, until they say the conduct of the state security, the state house security, can be linked to party operatives, even though the chain of command, if it were a civil matter where we get vicarious liability, you can only be vicariously liable to somebody where you get command and control and your operation is akin to your own existence. In this case, these are police officers who get their own chain of command. If they go assault somebody, you link her with a party operative, so it don't open a can of worms. So the next government go simply like this Pandemba Road massacre where state house security were involved, they can simply link them with state operatives. And the vicious circle not go stop there. So the next government where they come back and the next and the next. So my point here is, with the president's speech accusing political operative, when the evidence suggests glaringly saying a state operative, it is unfortunate, and I think say we get for make this precedent stop, because we as Sierra Leoneans now, let us don't make our parties and sentiments overwhelm we damage we country. Let us look at the precedent where this case they said the Abad Williams case can put a very dangerous precedent in that country, because it puts party operatives and the conduct of state securities, which is not good, because tomorrow, another person who can hold them responsible. And that is my case. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sesay. Mr. Thonkla, Mr. Sesay takes up some of our time there. You know, say nobody last week, I make all this Boku time. For let's say catch up, let's say give you your opinion. I think say extensively last week, me, you, Mr. Yamba, and Mr. Spur, we talk extensively about the president's speech. You know, we come at least towards the end of this, we'll talk about governance and all. But I think a lot of talk about one major issue now in the country, when at COVID-19. You know,
but I'll be able to make a bit of analysis on the speech as well before I will give the place. Give me
like 90 seconds.
Yeah, please. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sesay. When me no go say anything about legal. I just enjoy the analysis. Them that in link say the president will be more responsible because this case in our court. Make it no prejudice the case. That's very important. So my left I need to put how see this speech again? Because last week we not get a thematic analysis. That's what I can right now. You can look at the speech impact politically, economically, and socially. Right? This speech, in a nutshell, I discovered as a hate speech. It's a hate speech. I will tell you why. Because any speech will make for harm people and for offend certain section of community, that by law is a hate speech. So now that means here. But what about the impact on the economy? we don't see say this people don't raise a lot of eyebrows across the world. Even some tourist companies don't put their website say the president of Sierra Leone say he get terrorism in the country, and terrorism no thing way out away that a joke at the world. So that alone economically it go affect the country. It go stop terrorism for Sierra Leone because Sierra Leone is a hostile country where they loot terrorism. So they don't go there. So that if they don't go there, that impacts the economy. So let's look at this correlation. The speech will impact economy through depriving tourism for visit Sierra Leone. We actually cripple at the moment. Our economy is in bad shape. In fact, we are deep into recession. Me go say so. Because we say, given that we take more for pay teachers them, for pay civil servants them, that's alarming bells where they show say the economy they in a nosedive. So that's the one. What about the political effect? This it don't fit into the division between the ruling government and the main opposition party, that Sierra Leone, which is the largest political party, and we don't need that. Sierra Leone, I always talk this. I always talk this. If we are serious about investment, one thing we will try for emphasize on is stability. If we get entrenched instability, that's the bad signal to investors, to the international community, to everyone. Say Sierra Leone is not ready for business. That's the one. So if you get terrorists in a country, nobody will go invest. No, investors they go. They say, but why should I bother to go and invest my money, my billions of dollars or pound sterling or any other foreign currency? I can't really deal with terrorism. That's it when the president don't shoot your foot, because if in hindsight, enough for the utter that statement, because that's no joke, and he was addressing the international community. This is clear. We must actually call things by their name. This is wrong, it's not acceptable, and as I said last week, the speech is irreprehensible. It's not for us. You as a leader would expect much from you. The body they pay you for the words we call amount in private and in public. It's very, very important. So I'm going to get that demonstration. So for now, how we see things they go, the country is badly divided. The president draw the battle line. And then we'll do that kind of thing there. Let me count it to the coronavirus, where you fight the most deadly virus in the world. You just cannot do that. You cannot create a platform wherein you don't draw confrontation between you and the main opposition party, where they expect for a journey for fight this fight. So this speech, it gets a lot of damage we don't cause than for bring people together. So if you ask me, I will also give the other panelists time making this. But this is my own observation, and as I say things they go, I feel say we're not pointing in the right direction. This is dangerous. This is troublesome and not fair for the country. Sierra Leone, if we are really ready for investment or for move the country forward, we need for travel tolerance. We need for try to bring everyone together for dinner, one platform, one table, and move forward. That's my point.
Thank you, Mr. Thonkla. Like I say, I think we move now to the COVID response. I just don't give a summary. Mr. Yamba, what do you think about COVID? Again, I urge viewers them and listeners them for actually make a comment and for say what they need for say, and then we go respond online. Anybody who make a comment to go respond online, please. Mr. Deen.
Yeah.
Based on the summary I gave about coronavirus, the handling of the coronavirus, the financial laws that one pass, the implication we get for the state and for society, the positive test of the 87 people come out Q8, where 67 of them test positive. Where they 24 hours earlier at Q8 they tested negative. Where we now know say they don't recall for go do the test all over again because the ambassador from Q8 raised the issue. What do you take on that?
Thank you very much, Mr. MacFoy. God bless. And I also appreciate the viewers them all over the world. Make comments by acknowledging the fact that one, Sierra Leone is a deprived, poor nation, where technology totally lack in the country, even for manufacture simple Panadol, na headache could not sabi. This is very much worrisome. And we would live in the West, we know say countries like America, the richest nation on earth, they struggle 1,000+ they die a day. This is a dreadful disease, very much contagious, and Britain go attest to it at the top. We all live in Britain now. We see we lost a day 1,000 some hundred. And I feel say this will be a priority to Sierra Leone, rather than seeing the whole concept as being politicized, looking at how polarized Sierra Leone is based on political line. I feel say now the wrong move this. Now the time is for galvanize and preach cohesion. We need a very integrated Sierra Leone this very moment. Because one, as I just mentioned, we very, very, very poor. We not get nothing. We depend, we like don't know dependable country. Then therefore say, then give it. So if we like country within the give, we not get nothing. I feel say the focus will be how we are able to fight this disease without hurting one another and without politicize the issue. I feel say in this concept, we got to look at things conceptually, because politics is not about what did happen now. Sorry, it's not about me. It's about the nation itself. It got to be comprehensive, because they face a common enemy where a global fight. As I mentioned, if America they struggle, Europe they struggle, Sierra Leone will not have make Panadol. If that sick they true because we don't see in the day, Sierra Leone there is a greater tendency we wipe the whole country. And that's so maybe. So therefore, I feel say this very time, a time for preach peace, love, and unity. Not a time for begin to look for order for targets or order for put behind bars. In order to help in order to change the socio-economic status of the country. We are struggling politically, economically, and socially. Not all this we want to see. We want to see a unified Sierra Leone. We want to see the emancipation of Sierra Leone economically. Now, make I just go to the issue of them picking away common create. Irrespective of whatever they do, where they belong, because we all know within our side, then it will be very much dictatorial. It will be very much one-sided or short-sided. Therefore, every individual gets a right to belong to which side you want to belong. And that will be saying a crime. If Kuwait, where reach and advance the Arab world past we, don't do their own test. Say them guys, then with sisters and brothers, they are free from the disease. Whose technique, technique we shall get? Where the advancement we shall get for go counter a country far much richer, advanced past we, they don't prove say this, that are them free. Then they can't say they get the disease. How? When I will get near a possible get that disease, you can't. That sickness is very, very dreadful. When did they say they breathe Sesay? What can they see show we want person? Now see and compare how they breathe now. You know, see say this they die. So I mean this politicizing of issues is very wrong. They PKR, they're not supposed for all them. Whatever it is, if we want quarantine them, we treat them like humans. We all are the same. We are all Sierra Leoneans. You don't have to differentiate or alienate people because of
Mr. Deen, that holiday. Do not arrest them.
I understand that.
You're not imprison them.
I'm not saying they're not in prison. Now quarantine. I understand what they mean.
Now government policy. Hold on. Now government policy. No, look at the facts. Don't get information and make the information.
That's what I'm saying here.
No, look at the facts.
They get the right to quarantine them for 2 weeks.
Okay, Mr. Deen.
With maximum respect as a human beings, the dignity not will be taken away from them.
Mr. Deen, law gets all right.
Yeah.
Whether anybody will cancel alone, the law says you for be tested. Hold on, allow me. I don't allow you. The law says you for be tested and you for be quarantined. Yes, that and the law provide. So if they come out Kuwait, they come and then the law tests them. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Not forget, say, coronavirus, and let me defend the government. Let me defend the EOC in this. Not forget, say, coronavirus, the incubation period are 2 days where you come in contact with somebody at a time to 14 days. Let me finish. Between the 2 to 14 days, symptoms go show and you go show positive. So let's assume they get in contact with somebody a day before they test them. It will not show on their test results in Kuwait. But the next day, 24 hours, if possible, say, if they test again within 24, 36 hours, it will show. So with all due respect, Kuwait is advanced, Kuwait get money, But I want for believe say the testing kit to get our country, not just alone they make them. It came from an advanced country. We can't go for we did it. What would they use for make them? Now, what think we can say? Sometimes there has been a mistake at the lab. There's been a cross-contamination at the lab. So I make the head of the AOC don't go back and say, let us review this process. We still get doubt. So now go retest. I think say, what you for do, if I wait for the retest, let it come, they'll go begin to talk about the human rights and this and that. But I think say the law is being followed in that respect. Now, for talk about how they care for them, who said them put them, then a whole different story. But let's talk in general, the quick back up, but the testing itself. Okay. You know? So for me, I don't get fact. Anyway, I can't tell you, Mr. Sesay.
No.
No, Mr. Deen, hold on. Mr. Sesay.
Okay. Now, you don't make me own. I miss having just one reach outside. They say, first of all, personally, I don't care what people say. I don't think that the government treated those people because of the party, the political party they belong. I can say that they didn't treat them because they are APC. It is a wider scope where conspiracy wago believe say the government is cashing in on windfalls associated with coronavirus. Look, I like that. So in that case, I don't care which side the statistics come up from.
Cash for cases.
That is one showcase. Then secondly, I take the cue from Mr. MacFoy. It is possible that this is a disease that is most technicians themselves confused on the way they test. And so it is possible either party gets it wrong. It is possible that Sierra Leone gets it wrong on the test or Kuwait get it wrong. So if they say, then they redo them back. Listen, quite recently, the president of Tanzania, he mimicked the situation. He took blood samples from animals and sent them to lab for tests. They came out positive, okay? Even WHO lab was involved in this experiment. It is some bizarre form of experiment, but the points where the president be one proved that the world is not equipped for this disease. So we should not rush into conclusion. Okay, now come back to the way they manage this COVID-19. Now, let me give you a background. The moderator, Mr. MacFoy, earlier on mentioned about a piece of legislation or an instrument, regulations where they put, where say the president or the operatives, they are not accountable for any money they expend under this. And let me just touch on that. You can forgive me. I abstain for attack on certain policies now. I stay on anything that have a tendency for be wrong in the eyes of the law. Now, the more are they address rather than addressing other issues. Now, this regulation, it came about the mandate where we give the president for 1 year economic emergency. We gave the president 1 year, say, make regulation. It will be under economic health emergency. Now, they went to parliament, then they enact them, but they're supposed for followed with regulations. The parliament for look the regulation, they scrutinize them, and then they vet them. Then go accept this without the regulations. The landed attorney general said he will revert to them, the deputy, he will revert to them the following week with the regulation. They reneged. The next thing they did, they closed parliament. Parliament was paroled for a certain time, and then they resumed them back, only for can debate these issues. And then this document did not go to parliament first, second, they take the part of a bill. The only thing, they go to third reading. But if they go to first reading by committee stage, then they go to the well of parliament. They did not. They wake in the morning, they just see these regulations. But even if they went through that procedure, you cannot override, an act of parliament cannot be overridden by a delegated instrument. We get the Financial Act in existence. The Financial Act says categorically, explicitly clear, say, every expenditure for follow the trends, the due process. And if for be available for auditing, exposed to auditing by the Auditor General. Okay, so if we get an act of parliament, every laws where we make for follow the trend, the only one way they can understand in case of emergency now the sole sourcing. The sole sourcing meaning you don't have to go through a tender or a bid process because of the exigency of the matter. We can override the sole source, the bid, the tender, and go to sole sourcing. That we can understand. But even that is subject to accountability. So the irony is you have a raft, a barrage of former opposition leaders on that commission of inquiry for lack of transparency. And then you want to enact a regulation. It is not a legislative instrument. This is a mere regulation, wait for valid for 1 year during the lifetime of the state of emergency. So to me, Mr. MacFoy, if you ask me, the implication of that is it undermine the president in drive for transparency and corruption. And a blank check. Now, come back to how this COVID-19 is handled. Yes, I do understand, but we experience from the Ebola when it comes to the logistical constraints what they face now. Until I don't know with the regulation aspect, the logistical constraints what they face now, that I blame not just the government. And this is why we are retrogressing as a nation. Every problem not to the government. If the government send 1,000 bundles of water bag na cottage for distribute, then give somebody way by legislate, by law, go through interview, go for Bay College, graduate for that job. Then get 1,000 bundle of water for shape. He go save 5. The only thing with the old government for, then people there for accountable. But we are citizens back. For what we self waiting we they do so we compensate Sierra Leoneans them. It is very important. The government can only implement and make sure that they facilitate some things. I don't see a video they make rounds. The support where they give people for the lockdown. Waiting people do. Then they go team up. When they call the people, where you collect you 250,000 leos, then call you in a corner, then go take 200,000, then give 50,000. Was it the president or the minister of energy or the health minister been there for begin do these malpractices? Now we as Sierra Leoneans, we not learn. And until we Sierra Leoneans begin sorry for we self, and then no say, we have a very easy blame now. Everything we say, hey, the government. Oh, now because me na APC, because me na SLPP. Once on a while, let us start examining we conduct as citizens. That's all, Mr. MacFoy.
Thank you. Mr. Thonkla?
Yes, sir. Make I just start with Mr. Sesay stop. Mr. Sesay no say leadership comes with responsibility. Why we get accountability in government is for the one who is accountable for what to say to do. That's now one principle of accountability. But Sesay say go give food to somebody. I am under a duty as a leader for make a follow up that what I say you go do, you know do the punishment. That's what
you don't get me wrong. I say for assign the blame 100% to the government is wrong. We cannot go blameless as a
that is true. That is true. We as citizens, we are equally responsible for more potential country. We wipe off the Satan of corruption. I understand that because government will not go for this. That the mindset we the citizens therefore support the government in this fight. I understand that. But there are some crucial areas where the government is under duty bound for make a follow-up upon what they instruct for good deliver. That's what they call leadership. That's what they call responsibility as a leader. But if first back go to the COVID-19. The COVID-19, Payamba, as he stated earlier, say wait and we don't say in an advanced country, they get sophisticated test machine. I know that. This it just raised eyebrows. Now who to trust here? The Kuwaiti government or the Salon government? Even the ambassador, when they represent we in Kuwait, don't come and say they do a 3 test. All these tests are negative, right? So probably I'm a bit suspicious because looking at the more cases you have, the more funding you get from WHO. The more cases you have, the more you get funding. I feel say
hold on, Samba. So are you implying that COVIDnomics with it now?
I think so. I think so.
Say that COVIDnomics. So what we saying is the government, you personal opinion,
Yep.
you believe say the government they inflate the numbers of COVID because they don't fail economically.
No, you cannot get that from my mouth. Your conscience is tantamount to entrapment. What did they say? And they make us repeat that. What did they say? The more cases, the more troublesome is the coronavirus. The more funding they get from WHO. And currently, we are going through a crippling financial situation in the country. So we should not sweep that under the carpet, because there's no way this now a classic example. What raise eyebrows? There's no way for fake data. There's no, because we only do to the benefit of the country. We do at the detriment of the country. Because the longer this thing is stayed at the country, now the longer we are pushing out potential investors, because of the country is going through an health crisis. Let's get that very clear, right? So that's why this not rocket science. Not like a rocket science. It's very clear. For put 1 and 2 together, Kuwaiti government don't do 3 tests, negative. So long as we go do 1 test, positive. Not all, but our 67 positive. Wow. I mean, that's just it's kind of shocking waves, because there's no way I feel say those authorities over there will miss. I know, yes, we can get some amount of anomalies on test, right? That's why we do it twice. We do it first, we do it second time, then do it 3 times. 3 times negative. We do it 1 time positive. This guy, according to information I get, this flight, the red flight from Kuwait to Lunga Airport, they don't transit, they don't go inside. All those who are at the plane, they don't test them. So who's had this magic come out? We fly, they get injection, go inject them, get them COVID-19. When a lot of people they are positive. I'm deeply worried. I know. Man, let's buy this one word. Let us know.
When I come in there, it's possible say on the flight itself, they forget something when we get COVID infection. Who knows?
I didn't
it's
know.
going to 67 people then.
Mr. MacFoy, I want you to see your incubation period theory. I buy that.
Exactly.
No, I beg to differ. Why? I beg to differ because that plane has been sterilized. That plane has been sterilized. No. I beg to differ.
Okay.
Because that plane get stress. That plane must have been sterilized before those guys went in there. That plane, it then I fit and a perfect situation, because not only we select them, they get Kuwait system. They pilot them, all the health stress, then inside it. So the Kuwaiti government is under dish of care. We mentioned that plane is ready for flying those people from Kuwait.
Please take some time to address the comments.
So there's no enough time to say that inside the plane that they won't get coronavirus.
Mr. Thonkla,
you can't use things when the flag goes inside.
Mr. Thonkla, hold fire.
Nonsense. Yes,
Mr. Thonkla, hold fire. Like I mean.
Yeah, go on, please.
I don't hear what you say. And so we viewers them, again, we want them to participate. And I see there's a lot of comments online. Okay, and I just read some of the comments. Then if I go out and make the comments on this COVID issue, where Mr. Thonkla will say. The first person writes, now Shoaib Amin. He said the returnees from Kuwait are supposed to be quarantined. No sooner they stepped in Sierra Leone soil. On that note, the government was right to take proactive measures. So it is support of the government's action.
Yeah, but the quarantine is approach quarantine. If you quarantine them, regardless, that is a positive for the quarantine.
Somebody again writes,
agree for that.
Somebody again writes, the tests, what they do, not to guarantee tests all over the world. Now the Sesay different countries in England and UK, all Tamabori. He say, tests and they fail. And we know that they say tests and they fail. So instead they say, sometimes Kuwait and tests don't fail. Now it makes Salon government own
That's a joke.
No,
then
be true.
Then, it's possible.
It can be true. You cannot.
Yeah, it can be true. The next person in call, Mr. Thonkla, the next person say whether the difference between testing in a salon and testing accurate. I go say to that person there. I don't know who's manufacturer we get Kuwait and test kit, but I know say Kuwait and they use a rapid response testing system Why Sannoh they use the traditional response system? You know, again, somebody say, "Mother, any Cayenne Clete Cops Law." You know, then forgive me for the name. Say Cayenne Teke Cops Law. Say how the president and in cronism they don't misappropriately COVID funds. I make it all the kind of thing they do now for inflate the figures. Just the sentiment when you echo Mr. Thonkla, you know. And somebody again just don't say, let's stop calling COVID-19, let's call COVID 419. You know,
I like that. Yeah,
you know, these are just some of the few comments there. So that's why they say, let viewers and listeners and keep the comments coming.
Yes,
one
sir.
thing I get for Thonkla,
yes,
I play devil's advocate and two sides. The first side, I don't give you the realm of possibility. We say, sometimes the government of China they test now the correct one, rather than the government of Kuwait. And I'm sorry to say, as a Sierra Leonean, and as this disease is affecting our country, I for rely on the government of Sierra Leone testing rather than the government of Kuwait. And I'll tell you why. Because if there are COVID cases in Sierra Leone, not what Kuwait get for deal with them, not what Kuwait get for suffer. And the people of Sierra Leone get for suffer the consequences. So I actually prefer for my government to test and tell me the test is negative or positive. If the government test can say positive, let us keep them in quarantine for 14 days. Let us retest them again and find out say they don't get tested. This purely, not politics, purely as a concern for the people of Sierra Leone. Now, let's come to the COVIDnomics, as somebody say, the COVIDnomics. Now, again, I think I am very, very skeptical for tests to be done within 24 hours. Then nearly 80% of the people, they fail that test the next day. You know, where even get the ambassador, where Sannoh send in that country for putting on Facebook, say, I challenge that test. Where caused a series of reaction where the head of the AOC go back, say for go test. And I know with reliable source, today say, then go pull the phone and come out the people that have at the quarantine center and delete the test result them from Kuwait. So for me, why is that being done? Why was that done? And that raises a lot of suspicion. Again, I want to say something. So what Mr. Sesay said earlier. Mr. Sesay make a very salient point. You see when they talk about government, let me say it. Most of them they refer to the people them. When they refer to the president, when they refer to the head of state. When they say government, when they talk about cabinet, when they talk about one person, the president. Now, if the president don't appoint people there for do the job, when within the spectre of the society, it feels that people are competent, and then people are going to show incompetence in the process, do we blame the government? Do we blame the president for choosing people that will come and do an interview without qualification, say they're competent, and they not get the competency for deliver? Do we? Or do we say, once and for all, you know what? We know how they test. We know how they test is that. When I counsel, when I expert them, when I get the qualification, when I get the PhD them, when I get all the so-called experience, or get the so-called education, when I can't fail a man, just one man, where not a spider, when I get security camera lenses across every spectrum of the society, when they come, they don't give a task for do, then are the damage in reputation, when the damage in trust, when the damage in confidence, we don't give that simply by incompetence. You know, why don't we start talking about the disservice, what do they do to the presidency? Because don't forget, don't put Mother Bill aside. Sierra Leone has a presidency, which is an institution. And if we allow for people that will damage them, and then we, because of partisanship and party affiliation, not be honest, but defend the presidency and defend when on your job, you don't perform, you misbehave, you know, and that brings me to one thing. Quite recently, the president appointed a Nigerian for lead with response. That is a telling indictment on Sierra Leoneans. What that tells me is this president not get confidence in the people anymore for deliver.
100% correct.
Because time after time after time, the one they were around up, they don't fail and constantly and continuously. So this president go fail foreigner. And the one who's alone, they go fail foreigner for can lead this. That is an indictment on the professional people, the one that will say that so-called professionals, so-called educated people, that's an indictment on them. For now, we president go out, go get a foreigner for can manage with disaster control as alone. With all the PhDs we have. So
MacFoy,
I am defending this president. I am saying it is not the president's fault. I am saying it's the people who the president elect that are incompetent, that they disgrace the president, and they bring the presidency to disrepute, and they cause the problem in society.
No,
Gentlemen, what's your take?
I disagree, sir. The president, he come with
why you disagree?
Why I can't tell you that the president come with a concept. He come with a very overwhelming concept. Say this is a new direction. The president pride in government of fighting corruption. The president pride himself of practicing an holistic, comprehensive transparency. And one thing I know in government, two things: leadership accountability and departmental accountability. If you as a leader, you get the political, social, and economic powers for appointed team. That team will they appoint. If they fall short, you as a leader, you are responsible. That's the simple fact. You are responsible. If you send Alhaji Thonkla, say, go take this COVID-19 support to Kedema. The woman go, he give me 1 million, while go give 200,000. Alhaji Bangura is like that makes the president come. He actually emboldened the anti-corruption commissioner. He gave him power, say, act on me behalf. Anybody will see fighting corruption, but we need a cherry pick in fighting corruption. All those guys where they go give 200,000, they take 250,000. This is corruption, right? Without appointing them, the president. If that falls short, it's responsible. Nobody else. He's the leader. He's the president. This is a new direction. We should disown the old direction. That's what I tell you. Disown the old direction. This is a new direction. It's a new boat. I am going to another direction. I'm taking Sierra Leone to another direction. For this direction, don't close a lot of loopholes there, but I open sinkholes.
Mr.
Please.
This 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, now I finish now. It opens sinkholes. It has to be said. If you say it comes with a new challenge, new ideas, we have something like common law, legitimate expectations say we are going to a different direction. Sierra Leone is going to be free. We have got our Moses. But this Moses is here to arrive. This Moses is here to emerge. This is a shame. This is a joke. This is disgraceful. I stop there.
Thank you, Mr. Thonkla. Mr. Sesay,
Mr. Thonkla, I do not expect less from you.
Thank
you. A former aspirant of the APC, this is the tone you speak to your opponent when you think when I'm sure by all your trappings, you're still interested in the position. Yes, you will come from.
No, I will not say that.
Yeah, but let me come from an objective standpoint, okay? Now, it is irrefutable that the president is the man with whom the ultimate power is vested upon. That is irrefutable, yes? That is why they take the blame.
Yep.
Democracy is the process by which you choose the man who takes the blame.
Absolutely.
Fine. But in this country, when somebody compromise with and charged with the responsibility for make sure we stay indoors, he flouted with the laws, himself broke the law, the president not tell him for resign. He say, I did wrong. And I am sorry, I am going to resign. What I did was unethical, and they resign my job. Do you understand? This is how the people do them part of them, carry on their obligations as good citizens. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We shift the blame to the president because now he get the ultimate control. But if the president go take somebody who mishandle the funds, we mishandle everything, and he lock him, he find him guilty of corruption, then lock him, that is not enough deterrent. The money don't lost, lives and don't lost. So what we should be mindful of, now for talk to we self as citizens say, not to just wait and go punish that man. So until the money we take or the danger we don't cause, it cannot be retrieved anymore.
Yeah.
Let us as citizens put on straight to each other and even political parties. And this is why I blame this government one side. The lack of participation, inclusiveness, why they omit the opposition for come together and fight this disease. Now, Mr. MacFoy said he mentioned a very good point, say, waiting make up a government. We the people. As far as me, I go back to the piece of instrument, the legislature with them, you want can shinkawi. Parliament cannot go blameless. I do not blame the president in any shape or form. It is the parliament. How dare you sit down in a parliament? Section 29, subsection 10 of the Constitution says that every pronouncement of state of emergency, once proclaimed, within 72 hours has to go through parliament and confirm in terms of the duration and the regulations of that. They flouted all of those instruments and they came before you and you granted that lengthy duration without no regulation. In other words, they gave the president a blank check. Will you blame the president? Let's say the president did that in error. The president is not a lawyer. He relies on the legal advisor, the Attorney General. Let's say the Attorney General gave my learned colleague did that per inquiry in error. Now, will you blame the president? The parliament is there for checks and balances. The parliament come up and my learned colleague, Lawyer Kaloko, pick up that section when I constitutional expert. And we had a very good debate on that. We said, we noticed the discrepancies once the instrument for launch. So in other words, the parliament cannot go blameless in this part. So waiting me, they say, this COVID-19, even the international world now, the advanced world, get it wrong in all spheres. Okay, the medication, whether even the antibodies, whether you can be reinfected, it's not clear as we speak. But wait till you know, they say our economy was in such a bad shape that every opportunity for drag, I would have done the same. Let me tell you.
No, please,
I go deceit them, but you they do I mean the most dignified manner because these people are doing it. They gave 1.3 trillion for the 5 companies that are sinking. The big companies, as we know them, begin apply. The Coca-Colas, the big companies of this country, where they do well, then begin milk under the system. Why, when they do under this country, they take and say the only thing we they do in Africa in the most undignified, they would compromise the rights of our citizens. One of we contributor, when Shuaib Amin, he writes, he made a comment. Why do they have to retrieve their phones, take their phones, their telephone? That is an infringement of people's fundamental human rights.
Right, yeah.
Of their
right to their privacy.
The problem we're doing it.
Hold on, Mr. Sesay.
Yes.
Again, Adele. Now just say this. Now play the devil's advocate. Until the government personal there, now take me on self say, and they represent the government of Sierra Leone now. And they represent the government. Now, there's a thing called national security. True or false?
Oh, yes.
And the national security consideration will get forgive to any situation. What about if the people that way get the positive test? We're sending out messages that will put the national security of the state in a precarious position. What about if that's the evidence? What about if that's the case? What about if the security apparatus don't make a conclusion, say rating? Then people with the access when they get to their phone, they don't send some of the information out. When they try to manage the information, we're not going to bring the country disgrace or disrespect. We're not going to bring the country to disrepute. Not able to manage this in a way where we manage them sanely rather than insanely and get a desired conclusion as then they go about for doing the retesting. What about if that is the essence why they were stopped? You know, there are human rights, and there are times when rights are suspended for the good of society. Even in this country, Mr. Sesay, the HRA, the Human Rights Act 98, GIWI, that's so that this country, the government can come back and say, rating, we suspend a certain aspect of this, we take a certain aspect of this. Why? Because we need X, Y, and Z. When coronavirus come, there are legislation in parliament where require that. Now we're on a state of emergency. Don't forget, we're on a state of emergency, and without, as you just say, no regulations by our parliament, we're proved incompetent. The state gets a right for do the things that we need for do at any given time. We have a blank check state of emergency. So rather than blame the security apparatus, let us blame those who we elected to parliament. We're not show no competency in this matter. We're not follow the constitution. We act or of arrest to the constitution because they're all in breach of the constitution. Every single member of parliament, where another regulation will go through, in inform, are in breach of the constitution. Why don't we take the responsibility there? This is a state of emergency. So our security services, and I am defending the government, that our security services get right for do what we want to do as we deem it fit. Don't forget, as we stand now, we've got a 12-month state of emergency. And that state of emergency, now we go by.
No, I beg to differ.
We only have 20 minutes, sir. I understand what you say. We only have 20 minutes, and I know you will get one more topic. But you're right. You just don't kind of redact everything what I say with the send back to Parliament, because anything where the government do right now is lawful. Anything we then do, especially, well, not to anything, but we concern health emergency, because waiting do, we give them a blank check. The president can give excuse, say, because regulation will have categorized a due process for do that. Regulation will have say if the information, because we have the rights to information. This is, I don't see any security threat in this. This is a document that is in the public domain. The document, the test from Kuwait is in the public domain. The test for Salon supposed to be given to the patients. Again, right for discuss how with people and in relatives. So I don't see any compromise way is stand for compromise. The only security, there is a financial implication, say, it go point with drag that the international community. And we don't want that. That I can buy. But whether it is legal or illegal, the government, I mean, just one reach that side for tell Mr. Shuaib Amin say, what the government did where you feel say infringe on people the right, we been give the president pass for Duam. It is legal under the state of emergency, health state
Absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
regulation.
Mr. Say, I'm not comfortable with that statement.
Why not?
Why not comfortable with that statement? No matter come, please. If Parliament they actually woefully, dreadfully, actually crash into this state of emergency, well, history will judge them. Me, I don't go that far. I want for just talk now for say because of Parliament give the government 3 months. 3 months they will go back to Parliament to go review this.
No, they did not. They
say 3 months they have to go back and review it.
Mr. Bangura,
Parliament agreed to 12 months.
The statutory procedure say, statutory procedure section 10 say, had the regulations laid before the Parliament, those regulations can prorogue in 90 days, and then they go back and renew them, and again and again. But there were no regulations. So I go renew until we're not even there.
I don't say review.
No, now they talk. They are not even.
How are they going to review some in the beginning?
No, they can't. Because
Mr. Thonkla, then get a blank check. How are you going to review blank check?
Listen, I know dispute about the blank check. I know dispute about
so if you don't dispute,
but wait, I feel safe for
that means the government is nothing wrong. Because they get open check.
No. Mr. MacFoy, allow me make a just put me on case at the club.
Okay, let me
I don't want to say anything, but at least he's a bull in here.
Mr. Deen, not allow Mr. Thonkla.
I was the first speaker, but these guys have been going around, and that's why I've been quiet for quite a long time. You keep me off, you don't allow me to talk, you keep me off, everybody's going down.
Okay. It's true, Mr. Deen. We're sorry. Tell me, Mr. Deen.
Because I believe so for go rotationally. Lord, take an hour, please. You keep me off, and I know if you finish, you keep me off. I want to come back.
Okay, Mr. Deen, we're sorry. Come on now, to the point.
Yeah, I come back to come out where I be unclear. I believe say if you come out Jamaica, I can't England for quarantine you. That point of correction. I believe say the picking away come out quite go Sierra Leone for quarantine them. Is that clear?
Yes, we clear.
Thank you very much. Waiting me they try for talk. Sierra Leone is a deprived poor nation, and it insists in this. We're very poor. We don't get nothing. I feel say what's important now cohesion. We need everybody on board. We don't need for alienate or segregate. I don't believe in segregation. And when they talk about the government, who they carry out the tax, I feel say the government forgets a body with very responsible say, Mr. MacFoy, very honest. I feel so put on that, he will deliver. Being that the African man is very greedy, including one who greedy, who selfish. And the African man where he puts us on side, even 100 per year or 1,000, you remember say, how much for pull force? Before you go reach the man we need them. So this time they affect we. We not get what they call transparency in Africa, where it's really not an exemption. Now this time the canker worm, this time the destruction. Transparency, accountability, no day in Africa. Sierra Leone are part of that. Anybody with that money, say go deliver, I swear to God, they take part of that money. This time they make progress in very retrogress. This is not helping us. We need accountability. We need somebody who go all say, you, why made them give this happen? Now make a level outside it. Now make a come to the APC Ebola time. We all see say the government they do well, extremely well, economically. We even get the fastest growing economy in the world, in Africa. But when this Ebola strike, to God and Abi, we just go down the drain. The economy, it begin crash, it begin go down. Although they be managed for the pay people, them, nobody know me, but the economy go down. Instead of being the fastest growing economy, it go down as a result of that. So me feel say this one now is slap, this disease, this like global crisis, it affects Sierra Leone. For me, at the present, reach Sierra Leone. One, I want to ask them how they hold, because how they only the fever for say alone, what the Nayang they hold you. You know they will talk. I want to know if they were when they say they get sick, they will talk. If they able to talk, then there is a doubt. If they're not able to talk again, better like what did happen now? I see 2-3 parties the way die. Oh, Sabi. Talk when they will be much pass and boss here. Then they boss and pass through before they will pull voice. So if that happen, then not true. Inside that 2 days, therefore they will shut them up. So anyway, because we're only talking rounds, I don't get much for say. But me, I believe in transparency and accountability. Thank you very much. And a lot great message.
Thank you. Mr. MacFoy, they are asking something. I am not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with the state when I say the government they get power for anything. So they even get power for kill anybody. They get power for destroy all lives of Sierra Leone. I'm challenging that because the government don't get power for access people and data when at the privacy and delete that data they say because of state of emergency. That is wrong.
You know.
Where is the moral compass? Where is the moral compass? This government said with a new direction.
Let's go back to
Let's go back to the Ebola.
Protection.
The Ebola, these guys were shouting on top of the roofs. Say, oh, APC corrupt, APC this, APC that. But what we are seeing now is worse than then. It's worse than then. So why we keep going around? Why we keep going around the circles? This government pride itself of fighting corruption, of promoting transparency, of promoting accountability. Where is that accountability? Where that even advocates say governments should not be held accountable on how they spend the coronavirus funding. That is unacceptable. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is bonkers. That is just grossly unacceptable.
Okay,
listen, I'm in pain. I'm in pain because I don't know if the Islamic faith.
Thonkla, let me. My apologies. Sorry for interject. Let me tell you this.
Okay.
They come up from 2 angles. From a legal perspective, in fact, I wrote an article on News Time Africa condemning all the atrocities, all the lynch, all the corporal punishment. Say it is legal if it's done under this state of emergency because it is unregulated. You understand? It lacks the due process. That is my stance as a lawyer. It is illegal because it lacks the statutory requisite procedures. But as a person, as a political operative, I do not blame the SLPP for what is happening. Rather, I blame my own representative in parliament, where represent my political party, where there is no record to suggest that he walked out of parliament in protest. There is no record to suggest that they insist, say, if the due process is not followed, they will not give credence to this document. There is no record. They said yes, they put a precondition. They accepted it, which is not according, even the parliamentary rules. They flouted the parliamentary rules. And also now the statutory procedure.
Well, they have been doing it. They have been doing it. Even the speaker, they flouted the parliamentary rules. They flouted it.
Even in the UK, everywhere in the world, let us be fair in this. When you give the executive a power for make them drag una into extreme, they will do it. Boris Johnson, he wanted to shut parliament because they wanted to enact the Brexit bill. He wanted to use that. Quick, he went to him. If not to be parliament, he would have done so. Not to so, Naya.
Parliament. It's not parliament. Now the court, nice stop him.
No. Parliament say, listen.
Parliament say no.
No, parliament say
no.
At the camp, no, listen.
Parliament says that you want to take it to court.
Now the dispute when they go na parliament, na courts, now they tell you that just like the Miller case. The dispute arose because some parliamentarians said no, and they took him to court, and the court said yes, the parliamentarians, you are right. Not so.
Yeah, they're going to court.
No. I beg to differ. Not so parliament in court. Parliament be recess. Angela,
the plaintiffs were parliament. Wait till they try for say. Let's just wrap up before we go to the next topic. Whatever happened, we all don't know, say the state of emergency, me no give legal merit. Fine. But let us face it. Where this problem come, we all confused. I know waiting the president, they use this opportunity now for oppressed political dissent, political opponent. That is another day. But what I am saying here is there are layers and layers, and there are parties that cannot go blameless. And Mr. Thonkla, you want to apportion the blame to the president 101%. And this is where we differ. I believe when you apportion...
Okay, hold on, gentlemen, hold on. I think, say, we don't exhaust this way. And I think, say, let us agree to disagree. Mr. Sesay don't make invalid points. Mr. Bangura don't make invalid points. Mr. Deen don't make invalid points. The point here being, Mr. Sesay, you don't agree with the blanket summarization, say the government gets an open checkbook by parliament. Mr. Sesay, they say the government gets them because of the failure of the parliamentarians there. Mr. Deen, yeah, instead they support you, Mr. Bangura, say he agree with your position. And me, from me on side I sit down. And the reason why I agree with Mr. Sesay, and I think so, all of us agree or disagree on this one. The reason why they agree with Mr. Sesay, and the very reason way they argue. Before this state of emergency was declared, I made a video, and it's dated, and I gave an advice to the Parliament of Sierra Leone that they not allow this to go without any regulation of Parliament. The president, therefore, not get us 12 months, therefore get them 3 months, at most 6 months, and review them. Therefore, cut the time short. This was 4 days before they went to Parliament. I did a lengthy video for 9 minutes and talk about the dangers of this not happening, the abuse of power, the issues that will happen. The moment you declare a state of emergency, it is a state of emergency where give government automatic powers for act as and when they see fit. And now link come back to the issue. The issue is the phone and the take and take out the people at the hand. When they say that they abuse their human rights, and me and Mr. Sesay say it is not necessarily an abuse of the law or human rights. It is purely because we get a state of emergency where the government get a right for act in any way how they see fit, especially when it comes to managing the disease and the information and things around them. And we can disagree as much as we want, but that is what they provide. Mr. Thonkla,
I don't follow. No, I don't disagree. Mr. MacFoy,
Mr. Thonkla, hold on.
Let's have a dialogue here. Let's have a dialogue here.
Yeah, we're having a dialogue. You don't come back. Let me make a point. Mr. Thonkla, you said one thing. We're very important. You say, where's the morality? Law and morality are completely different.
He knows
law and morality are completely different.
No, he knows that.
No, listen.
Completely different.
So,
over to you, Mr. Thonkla.
No, I can't, Mr. MacFoy. This is a problem. You know, allow me make actually.
Over to you, Mr. Thonkla.
No, hold on. Let me on Jigsaw post. The role of the parliament, I equally condemn. Me as a leader. You know me say if you give me a blank check for acts for governing the country, that give me the green light, make I actually behave badly. That's not able to do that because I should be morally and legally responsible for governing the country. Man, not create any danger for any other citizen. I understand that parliamentary role. I know that. Listen, I equally condemn, right? But once you have to try also acknowledge, the president say it was a state of emergency. Parliament say no. this is not a state of emergency. This is a public health emergency. We should also acknowledge. They call them back to parliament, say no, the president's proclamation is wrong. This is not a state of emergency. This is a public health emergency. Our market is very clear. It is gazetted. It is there, right? And not say, listen, and even listen, more as a lawyer, Mr. Say no, say you as a lawyer, you get a duty of care on a moral, for be moral aid to a client, for be moral aid to anybody represents. Not necessarily because of you know the law, if you abuse so that you even put your integrity to caution, you can't do that. You as a politician as well. We're not going to say this is a new direction. Say the same old story for me, the new story. They say new direction, then they count a new direction, new concept, new big, everything's new. But this is worse. Because President Kamara had a state of emergency. He's not going to take a phone, go inside the phone, delete data. No, these guys were crying there. They were crying. He's not going to take a phone, say, and they take MacFoy phone, I say phone, man, delete all the data out inside because of let's don't condone this bad behavior. No.
Mr. Thonkla, please.
I can come in just 1 second.
Okay.
Mr. Sesay, Mr. MacFoy, and Mr. Thonkla, we all don't live now. We know it's in a DOB, not so.
Yeah.
Data Protection Act. Very significant in life. And none of these are not infringe into that in this
100%.
Answer you.
I don't ask.
This argument to rest. Let me give you an assignment. On the 25th of March this year, 2020, the House of Commons legislates the Coronavirus Act 2019. It is inhumane, degrading, it kind of evil to mankind past every law way and SLPP they do so. But because of time, I will give you, let us close this topic for your own information. Go and look at what it entails. I'm a human rights lawyer. I don't write pieces of
absolutely.
Attack. It compromise the ECHR. 4 articles where I like
on so many grounds.
Article 8 of human rights, rights to private life, and rights to it go with you Article 8. So you offend Article 8.
Freedom of association, freedom of assembly.
But please.
No.
Please,
listen,
I just say
absolutely.
I'm not saying I stand on me topic. My premise of the argument is the SOE in Sierra Leone, the state of emergency, was not properly regulated. If allowed to be processed, therefore not regulated.
Public health emergency. Now public health emergency. Don't say that so. Now
public health emergency, Mr. Sesay.
It's not an emergency, no.
No, Mr. Sesay, now public health emergency. We are not at war.
No, at the camp.
No, we are not at war.
At the camp.
No, not at war.
Section 29.
No, let me
now public health emergency. Now public health emergency. Now make a coming. Now when they kill thousands, how many years they give it? How many years they give London, England?
Talk.
After we say 3 months.
Talk, Mr.
So why is here not forget 1 year? When you not die reach 1,000? Why?
We agree. Make a talk. The state of emergency. It is the parent definition. You can be under public health. It can be under constitutional. It can be under public law. It can be under. So this time it is public health.
Exactly.
In 1977, it is a constitutional state of emergency. So let me get it clear.
Because there was an uprising.
The subheading now can be what kind of. It is a state of emergency. What sort of state of emergency? It is a public health state of emergency. So then we just.
How many thousands don't die in Sierra Leone? Won't forget the 6 months or 3 months. How many thousands they don't die? Mr. Sesay, how many thousands don't die?
I'm not justifying why we have me object.
Why we get time? Wait for even 3 months. Why?
I object the duration.
Because of course, everybody says I don't pour. Nothing, they go squeeze to get 3 months.
Okay, gentlemen.
Let me close by saying this 1 minute. What we should be advocating for, now we all know, say, Mr. Thonkla, as a lawyer and as a politician, our constitution has lots of gray areas that needs to be addressed to. The constitution is inexhaustive. So the legal, the law, the reforms in our laws and constitution, they don't strive. Now they cause all this because some of the area, the law is silent. And once you give us in the idea for put the statutory interpretation, then they depart all the golden rules part statutory interpretation, they're just there for let politicians, they use them how they want. So please, let me close this topic. We only have 15 minutes as we plan. Saying I want
we have 10 more minutes. I think we will summarize. Okay. We'll come to a summary. But what I will say, again, we come to viewers them and then comments them. We get so many comments on the Facebook page. Well, I'll pick a couple of one that I will talk about. You know, one, they agree with Mr. Thonkla, say Mr. Thonkla, right? Morality and law go together, you know, and the law, the morality law come out of morality, you know.
Absolutely.
So one person they support Mr. Thonkla.
Thank you.
I get somebody again where they say morality and law work hand in hand together. Again on Mr. Thonkla point.
Thank you.
You know, and then somebody they say again, taking away the phone, abuse of power. You know, exactly. And somebody they say again they support Mr. Thonkla in view. But I got an interesting one from that call the person name, Mr. Kevin Metzika. He said Section 29 1B of the Constitution, not they make a difference between when a war or a health emergency for a state of emergency. It's just a state of emergency, then we they declare waiting that state of emergency they be. So the commissioner say in law, a state of emergency at the blanket word, why the reason why they declare state of emergency with the gam, why they declare state of emergency.
But it gets some situation where say if I had a war or disaster I want to approach, it make some situation it gets some situation where say if the war na health emergency, that it give the right to the president for proclaim. So it's clear.
Yes, but it says state of emergency. It say it's a state of health emergency if only relate to health issues.
Yes, I say public health. It say health and war. It did it by law.
No, it say health and war. So yes, so we'll get a health situation.
Oh,
natural emergency because of a health situation.
Who gets one as Sierra Leone?
The president declare a state of emergency because we get health issue.
Bangura,
it's a health pandemic.
Your president. In 2014, in 2009, the APC had an Ebola, and then they declare health emergency. So if you take that argument, you're defeating.
For how long, Mr. Sesay?
For 1 year, 3 months.
You go defeat your president. So let us leave the argument on that side.
Exactly.
I agree.
1 year, 3 months, Mr. MacFoy.
1 year, 3 months.
Yeah, but now thousands of them they die, no, so.
1 year, 3 months. It makes no difference.
Thousands of them they die.
1 year, 3 months. It makes no difference.
The Americans, the Europeans, everybody be needed. But this one, I know about.
Okay.
Let's progress. That say.
Right.
So we view as them again. This was an open discussion. Our topic was the president's speech, the continuation, Ebola, and how they manage Ebola. You know. So what I go do? I will give each and every one of you at least 90 seconds for give a summary of the opinion and what and things the government for do. I'll give you, Mr. Deen, the first one. So take your opinion and give advice to the government and to the citizens. The same thing for you, Mr. Sesay. The same thing for you, Mr. Thonkla, before I wrap up. So, Mr. Deen, you 90 seconds to start now.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a privilege for giving me being the first speaker here. When I start for talk, I talk about cohesion. I believe in togetherness and oneness. I believe in solidarity. I believe so we support that anything we bring, we will bring segregation to our mockery. I believe in coming together as one unit to fight this cause. Anything we will try for amalgamate this program, it will affect me. We very, very, very much deprived. Now, I want to focus this attention, make the government and the advising, let them think about 3 issues now. How we go be self-sufficient in food productivity? That's my first question is. Then how we go get energy sustainability? And how the last one, how this educational sector will be improved to equality where everybody will see. So I feel say, if we will look at this in a very broader picture, and we consider them as very significant in the society with the health, where today become a cancer now with society, Now see what did happen in Sierra Leone. So to me, I ask everybody, the government, irrespective of the political party, now we all come together, we work towards what did happen in our country. This now a disease where not only they destroy lives, but they destroy we economically, politically, and socially. Today, even now, we get social distancing. So this is not good for the society. When I all come together and they ask the government, whatever somebody don't do you, Mr. President, would I not hurt you? Forgive, get the heart of forgiveness, and bring everybody on board, but work together as one big nation. Now that no matter.
Thank you. Mr. Sesay?
Well, I just redact by saying that, first of all, the reason why for me personally, I don't feel say the state of emergency is legal. So whatever you may say, now that premise say maybe always stand. And I wrote an article on that one, no one go against, for the reason say it lack due process. Is it necessary? Yes, it's necessary. It is necessary because unlike Ebola, this is one disease that the World Health Organization declared as a pandemic, when a global pandemic. So by virtue of magnitude, importance is high. I not say the impact, but it is up there than the Ebola, because this is a global disease and it's evident from what it happened. But my point here is, let us start by taking things by we Sesay as citizens. Let we see what we go do for move the nation forward. Politicians do not have our answers. I always say this, politicians not get all we answers. We as a people, today I go be vociferous in opposing, in raising issues, in everything. But tomorrow, if I am there, I face the bell, and then I want to let people then come back for begin talk with Ahmed Sesay. They say the people must play their own role. But when you know they're at the seat, you know I make a talk so because you want say, just say, no, not this man. But I still stand say, in as much as the president can be blamed, he cannot go blameless, but it is not fair for put 100% of everything will happen upon the executive. I don't care whose party within a power. Okay, we get for be logical in that thinking process. Okay, and then, but when you go to institutions, the judiciary gets a big role for play. When I talked earlier, I mentioned the case about George Williams and Mustafa Darami. Say, if we allow these precedents to stick, when they link the conduct of police officers, state security to party operative, the next political party can go follow the same precedent and the vicious circle they continue. And then we come back to the COVID-19. In as much as we're desperate, we want to use the opportunity again for we cut holes. Let us think, say, the whole essence for this thing are for protect citizens. You cannot harm citizens by infringing on their violation on their dignity, their human rights. Then you say they prevent them from an illness. You understand? And then you end up kill them because why they prevent them from the sick. So I want to let the government see reasoning in ensuring, say, fundamental human rights of citizens prevail. The regulations where they put before parliament for this financial regulation, you cannot override an act of parliament. In fact, it will put to test the supremacy of parliament, the primacy of parliament. If you go make an ordinary executive, a minister, make a regulation where they override an instrument formulated by parliament, which is a financial act, then we go descend into chaos. So please, let us be very, very, very careful. In as much as we not get regulations, we not get things same way they govern, let us use, yes, I not disagree morality. As a Muslim, in fact, I'm more grounded. I am more into moral ethics as a Muslim. So everything where we look and from the concept, the perception of a Muslim, a religious person. So I know they depart from morals. But I am just saying that when it comes to legal, people then they separate these things, sadly. They know they look moral, then they look what in that book say. They forget about what morality say. But Mr. Meziga earlier on said something very important about Constitution. The Constitution is what we make of it. You understand? If we want to make good of the Constitution, we can. But let us make good of the Constitution and make sure, say, we come out with this disease intact and with all.
Thank you, Mr. Sesay. Thank you, Mr. Sesay. Mr. Thonkla.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Over to you, sir.
I thank you very much for hosting the program, and I thank all the management. Now, two things I have for just highlight. I reach out to the government, I bring them, make the care for the one with the quarantine. But Guma Valley get anchor them. When I give them water, because this is care and hygiene. If we are quarantine people in local water, that is like una create a fertile ground for very sick to become more contagious within their own quarantine. They are, and they see they give food there to pull them, may God bless them. But many also equally give food to them with in quarantine, many actually water, many get water. Guma Valley get water tankers, many get 2 or 3 tankers for them for wash and drink. Because water is very important. So if you quarantine person like a house arrest, there are many get water for drink and for wash. Very important. The other people have to say these are the all song heroes, the doctors, the medical practitioners, the nurses, them, the health workers, them, the porter, the cleaners, the clean the hospital, them. They are not paying their money them. They are more people who look after them, more care for them, protect them. More make sure they get the correct equipment the way they use for work. They are more look after them. This is very important because the COVID-19 they are in the forefront. Now they don't take an oath say they go defend them country at the time when they call them. Now we have called them to fight for our country. Look care for them. They are very big. It's very, very important. Another thing I want to highlight, them right now the COVID-19 don't create a lot of uncertainty. We don't know when they do. So let me say we give them education by radio, more use technology, across the country. Because if we train kids them today, tomorrow they get a better Sierra Leone. If we don't train these kids today, tomorrow our country will be still going around the same vicious cycle. So they are the appeal to the Minister of Education, many them prioritize for teaching hours. Very, very important. The parliamentarians them will not get something on our hand. If this set of following the emergency go wrong, tomorrow history will judge you now. History will judge you now tomorrow. This is Alhaji Thonkla. I decided that now. When all the MPs there, including Kane Yom Kela, all the MPs, all the parliamentarians in the parliament, if this public health emergency go wrong, any post with their hand hold, you guys are liable. You guys tomorrow will take judgment on that. I actually said this with make and don't say you are don't actually abuse the powers of the people now. They give up for represent people in parliament. When do otherwise, that's a left to government judgment. That is very important. And I appeal to everybody to Sierra Leone, may support the government for fighting this year for more see this coronavirus, the back of this coronavirus. And again, finally, as I make us speed up this coronavirus, but we'll try because we don't see country them like I take Greece. Greece next week they open they beach them. They say they don't no more coronavirus. Look at North Korea, South Korea. They only do them beat them because if the country is ready for development, if we get public health emergency, eventually they come. So this in the law we don't blackmail the country. This public health emergency. We don't see other countries around they get but they don't declare this because they don't say they want investment. If we don't get a state of emergency, that when I don't shut the door to investor, when I shut the door to investment, no investor will come. So they are the big, and also to show all the political parties them they are not work together. Even though the panel calls when terrorists them, more look at this. We are Sierra Leone now country. Even though there's citizens there, but if a leader, the utter short statement of public, what do you expect the citizens to do? You as a leader, where you are a role model, you call a whole block political party say they are about to terrorists. That is wrong. That is wrong.
That's you 30 seconds to conclude.
Yes, sir. So in so doing, I thank all the management, I thank the technician, everybody who got the program, all me copy panelists, Mr. Sesay, Payamba, Mr. MacFoy, and myself. I thank you so much, and I look forward to the next program. Thank you very much. Masala.
Thank you. Again, I want to say thank you to all who participate. I want to say thank you to all the ones who don't make them comments. I want to say thank you to the one who don't make comments or listen to me. And I want to just say something about the program. When I see in between the program, I interrupt speakers because we want to make the program very, very time bound. We want to make it short and precise to the point. So not to rudeness or not to like this person make at the cut off viewers when I don't understand and they say we get the man way for being the bad man I mean they cut people the time.
Yeah, the bad man.
So don't understand that. But again, the question say, and again, thank you, team. Thank you for an informative, well-researched, well-presented, stuff. This is what we like on Diaspora Voices. It's balanced, it's fair.
Diaspora Voices. You get the best. You get the best.
Diaspora Voices. Balanced, it's fair. It's open. We only can rant. We only can propaganda. We speak the truth. We speak the facts. Exactly. And again, now I say, in all the things I don't say, we get different opinions, different views. But again, there's one theme we'll come across. It's nationalism, and nationhood, and nation building. And that should be our theme. Our theme should be nationalism and nation building. Again, to the government, if we criticize you, we're not your enemies. In fact, we're your friends because our criticism should make you better. not to create enmity, but to correct you and to tell you where you've gone wrong. And I think so the issue about opposition, the issue for give constructive criticism and give profile solutions. You know, again, we all know say with COVID-19 management, there's a lot to be desired with the government in terms of the quarantine homes, in terms of the delivery, in terms of response, in terms of care, in terms of treatment. There's a lot to be desired. And we're saying is, you know, the one in the non-day say it will get to this point. The one that before this happened, there are so many people who don't deal with Ebola, we were involved in it from situation room all the way down. We say, please listen to us because we've been here before. And we were here and we made these mistakes and the consequences in this. I said so with government, it's not too late. I said so with people, if we not come out of the ego trip and the ego trees and calm down and understand, say, collective vaccination, we get to affect this disease. It no matter whose political dispensation we belong to, everybody get for the on board for let it happen. You know, the one thing I be like about Kamara, you know, and I have to say this about him, during Ebola, after the bashing and the criticism for the first 6-7 months, where he said not understand which kind of disease this, and let us give him that. When he didn't understand which kind of disease this, he did something. He recused himself from the front line of Ebola. He brought Syrians from all corners and all angles, and he said, "Look, affect this." And he decentralized and made it a community fight, a localized fight. And the moment we went local, we were able to defeat Ebola. Again, stop looking at your index cases. Start looking at your primary healthcare systems. Start looking at your communities. Start looking in the people because the disease has spread into the communities. The disease day and the community. Stop looking at our quarantine people and our index cases. Go into communities. Protect the primary healthcare units when open. The new one that open, put in the safeguards. The ones that you open that are in government hospitals where people use every day, move it away if you can. Isolate, isolate, isolate. The only way we can treat COVID is through isolation. If we do not isolate, we do not do social distancing, it is not going to happen. To Freetown City Council, and I'm saying this to the mayor, go now and market them. When I begin market them, grown, they also people in the team up. When I begin put them 2-3 meter distance them, and begin tell people, so we can't buy them to Mami Fatu, you need to go join them for the can't buy Mami Fatu ahead. I think we need to be more proactive now, and the government needs to be on board. We've seen this. The examples are there. The best practices are there, and the way where United Kingdom able fetam, the way where South Korea able fetam, the way where people in the fetam across the globe, the way Nigeria the fetam, the way where Gambia the fetam, small Gambia, the way in the fetam, the way where Senegal the fetam, the way where Mali the fetam, the way the Ghana the fetam. We know their best practice modules. Please, with a beg una forget about una PhD una get. Una forget about our masters they get. Let us forget about this. We have to come down to community level. We get to speak the language of the local people. Them. We get to make them understand that they are responsible for the neighbor in life. Not just if you're an APCO or you're ST people, you're C4C. And we are responsible for each other. Papa government, Papa director of EOC, Papa this, Papa whoever, coordinators, understand, be localized, and let the local people fight this. Educate them and empower them. We're not taking money for go buy 60 vehicles. It is disheartening. It is sad. We they beg.
Very, very sad.
We're not taking money for go buy 60 brand new Mitsubishi Shoguns, of which 30 has been delivered. That $1 million want to use. What impact will it have made in the primary healthcare system? Let us stop and think. Yeah, we beg.
That money.
We beg. This is not community challenge. Let we go at community level. And I'm speaking not as an opposition, not as a member of any political party, but as a concerned citizen of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Me, na Alusine MacFoy, me, na ordinary citizen. Me, guess them, who will be on this program with all presenter them, now Mr. Thonkla Bangura, now Mr. Deen Kamara, and now Mr. Ahmed Alusine Sesay. We tell you thank you, God bless you now. We're there again next week, Sunday at 7 o'clock. Okay. Take care, stay safe, salon, keep social distancing, wash your hand, observe all the rules. We love you now, we care about you now. We care about the country. Let me kick COVID out of Sierra Leoneans. Now, thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you. And we're going to end the program now. I want to thank the CEO and host of this show, Mr. Abdul Sesay, aka DJ Little, and then the producer of the show, Napasuri Bangura, and the host and the CEO of Diaspora Voices, Mr. Abdul Sesay, DJ Little. We want to tell you thank you for bringing to the Sierra Leoneans and the world, the globe, this vital information, for providing a forum where we all share. And to our viewers, we promise for start in time next time. So with that, that will be it for today. And we thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys.
God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you guys.
Good night.